Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my live stream. I'm just getting set up here, and I'll be with you in a sec.
Get the ultimate lineup of PS4 plus FIFA 15 for only £349.99 at Game.
Okay. So I'm trying something slightly different this time. Just need to try and keep the track window open as well, so I don't lose it. See if I can get that up. Okay. Okay, so that should be working okay. All right, so I'm just screwing around with my Twitch settings, so hopefully the stream is pretty good. If you have, fine, yeah, that's streaming. Okay, if you have questions, comments, I'd love to hear them. If you've got had a little bit of interest on Reddit again last night, so if you would like to do a Q&A, that's fine. Just ask me questions as I go. I'm very happy to answer questions. Let me just pull up the chat on my iPhone so that I can actually see what people are saying. Great. Okay, so today I thought I'd start a live stream reasonably early so that I can get the American audience from people who are still up. Believe it or not, there are plenty of people up in the US at the moment, and actually it seems that people watch Twitch really late at night, so I'm very happy to do one early in the morning for me and late at night for other people. I'm not really a 2, 3 in the morning type of guy, so I'm very happy to kind of run this a little bit earlier in the day, and that works for people all over the world, really. Pretty much everyone who isn't working in Europe at the moment. So, yeah. Right, so what have I been working on? The last couple of days, I haven't been live streaming. I've been working on getting the serialization stuff done. So what I've been doing is I've been trying to make it so that the organization's operations history stuff actually saves and loads between games, and that's quite important, obviously, for a number of reasons. The main thing is so that you can continue where you left off. So I've managed to get the operations working. Operation types are all working. So I've got a piece of code here which saves and loads the game and then checks the old operation being an office for an organization. It's basically, it means that it's operations on a particular planet or in a particular city. So I've got the old one and the new one, and now I'm going through and just checking to make sure that all of the relevant stuff is correct and the same. It'd be great to know whether or not the stream is coming through in enough detail for you guys. It's always very difficult to know whether I should be streaming this in 720p, mostly because it's a trade-off. I've only got a dual core Mac, so probably should have bought the 4 core. But it means that I can't really stream in 720p and actually manage to compile the game at the same time. that's the main problem. Cool. Okay, so I've done the operations. Now what I need to do is save the staff that work in a particular operation. So in order to do that, I'm in the middle of writing a test. I finished this last night, and my test basically allows me to check to see whether it's all working. So I haven't finished this test yet. Let's just finish this off. So I've got a human here that's come from my test code, and I want to basically set that person to a particular age, probably 18, which is easy enough to do. You just need to set the date of birth. Let's just see actually how we do that. And then I'm going to give them a job, and then I'm going to make sure that their job persists across a save and load. This kind of automated test is so useful. Birth date, there we go. It allows you just to, for stuff like this, I don't write tests for the user interface. I don't write tests for a lot of the gameplay as such, because that you just have to be done by feel. But it's so important to run tests for things that you can control, such as save and load. And it's such a fiddly thing to get right. I'm not doing enough. If I was doing data-oriented design all the way through, it'd be a lot easier because I just save blocks of memory to disk, but I'm not. So it's kind of a classic OO project, which if I was doing this again, it wouldn't be. But this code base is kind of 3 years old, so I have to go with what I've got. So anyway, so the birth date. How do I set the birth date again? I've completely forgotten. It could be somewhere in here. Just load activity monitor so I can see how my CPU is holding up. It's doing okay so far. Just shut a bunch of stuff down as well. I don't need. There we go. Okay, so the way I do this is, where am I setting it? Historical event. There. Right, so that's easy enough to do. So I just need to copy that stuff, and actually that one. Okay, well, it doesn't really matter. So basically, I need to say history, current year, minus 20. So let's make them 20 in the test. And let's make them born on the 1st of May. That's easy enough. Okay, so now I've done that. Okay, these are all the jobs that they could have. I could probably just step the history. And that'll give them a job. Yeah. I'll just step this human. Step just means run a year of history. In fact, I don't even need to do this because I can just say step human test state history current year plus 20. So I don't think I need to do any of that yet. Okay, so that will hopefully give them a job, and I can check that by saying a human stage, because that will be a job. And actually I'm just going to print out that stage. Let's see, how do I do that? Oops. Life stage has a name, yeah. See out. Human stage, life stage, name. Let's just print that out. Okay, let's roll with that. Let's see how the compilation works now. I'm only streaming in 480. Okay, oh, yeah, that's a method. Let's call that. Okay, it's still going pretty slow, but it seems to be holding up. Let's see. Oh, I'm also backing up at the same time. Let's just pause. Back up for like ages. Okay, so what's wrong with this? State history, current year. No such. Okay, that's wrong. I must have made a mistake. Current year. No. Yeah. What did I call it? Do I not have? Oh, the history doesn't have a concept of current year anymore, does it? Ah, interesting. So if I just do that, that'll probably do the trick. Yeah, that should do the trick. Let's go with that. Be great while we're compiling. If you have any questions, please do shout. I put a reasonably recent post up on Reddit in Space Sim Games. If you haven't seen that subreddit, it's worth checking out if you're into this kind of game. There's some pretty cool stuff here. This is the one I put up. I need to answer some of these questions actually. So if you want to know a bit more about it, then please do read that. The other thing I want to do, oh, I've got an error. This is a pointer, yeah. Cool. So if you want to read more about it, put that there. Actually, that reminds me I need to add to the self-promotion mega post on Indie Game. Let's just finish. Oops, no. Let's just grab that again. There we go. I really like Space Sim Games. They seem like a really friendly bunch. So do go and subscribe. Okay, so let's just go back to this. Edit, grab that post, pop that in here, and then I'm going to, okay, the tests are running. Just finish off what I'm doing here. For those of you who've seen this stream before, I'll be interested to know if this streaming method is better than before. I'm actually streaming a whole window before, rather than just streaming the code. I'm actually streaming a whole window so you can see things a bit more. Right, that should work fine. Yay. So let's see how much that gets some traction. Awesome. Cool. Anyway, so yeah, let's go and have a look. Right, okay, year is out of valid range. Interesting. So human, obviously, oh, they haven't been born yet. Okay. Yeah, that's a problem. The problem is that the humans are created, but they're all embryonic, and when they are generated, and they haven't even been actually born yet, which is a problem. So let's have a look at the history tests to see generate test history step, test year +1. Let's do that, and then we can go birth date year plus. Yeah, that should work. So that will just test step the history, so they might get a job. That would be good. Okay. Oh, I've screwed up because I don't need that message. Delete. Okay. Ooh, that game looks fun. Oh, Kickstarter trailer. I'm not doing Kickstarter, I don't think. Not at the moment. I just think I'm just not sure. Let's just grab this. That I want to make myself beholden to a bunch of strangers. That's the wrong site. That one is the one I want. Okay, that's fine. I can just leave it like that. Okay. What's the error now? No method named history, and that's because it's state history here. Okay. Right, so what was I doing? Oh yes, I was back in here. I want to see what they say. Cool. Oh yeah, I wanted to answer those questions. Good questions. I need to fix errors as they come up though. Right, no method name, yeah, oh yeah, that's fine. That's because we're in a save game. Don't think we're capturing the year here. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. We can just choose one. Let's choose that. Okay, reply, copy. Great, so that passed. So we must have printed something, yes. That means that the guys picked a job, which is brilliant. Now, if they've picked a job, I'm going to leave that assertion just to make sure that the test has got integrity. That means that we can do the same thing as before. So we should be able to do this. And then we should be able to say the human should have, let's just pick the new human. New human equals test state, no, test loaded history. The loaded state is the one that we've actually loaded from disk. Should be the same guy. And then, oops, new human should also have a stage. And that means new human stage should live stage name should be equal to the old one. Don't need that. And then just the human stage, live stage name. Okay, so that's not going to work because we don't save the staffing at all at the moment. But actually, that's not even what we want to check. That's really in the wrong place because the human doesn't have any kind of concept of saving a live stage at the moment. The problem that we have is that the live stage can be static and it also can be non-static. It can be created by the operations, and that is actually a problem. It's going to be a bit tricky to save. And actually the live stage, if it chooses a freelance live stage which hasn't got an operation attached, there's no reason it will be saved at all. God, I hate serialization. So fiddly. Okay, well instead of doing this now, we could really do with, the problem is if we just step, it could pick anything, which isn't really what we want. We really want it to pick an operation. So where we do fill with available jobs, let's just search for that in the history. Actually, this is good enough. No, it isn't. Okay, this is where we choose from jobs, and we basically choose a choice there. So we were doing this before. This is probably the right thing. So that just causes the human to be born, which is important. And then we can say, let's just jump back by half an hour. Yeah, this one here. If you haven't seen that, that's a really neat Vim trick. You can go earlier 30 minutes and it will just undo 30 minutes worth of work so that you can then go back and then you can just say later 30 minutes. Really nice trick. If you're not aware of that, you should be. In Vim, you should use it all the time. It's completely awesome. Okay, let's see. Yep, so state, right, so this is wrong. Test state history. Basically, what I want to do initially is, I do want to do this, but this is a separate test. And it really belongs on the human saving and loading. So, tempted to just put this in a different test. And then just save that off for a minute. Right, so here we have a bunch of jobs, and they will all have operations attached, which is what we want to check at this point. So check choices size is greater than 0. And then we want to say, the reason I use a U is because it's an unsigned 0, believe it or not, because otherwise a Windows compilation complains. Right, so test state history current year, that's actually nothing, so we can say 2120. Spouse is nil. Choices, fill with available jobs. Humans, events by human, year. We don't care about the spouse. Choices is that's the output. Okay. Okay, so check choices size. It's greater than. Then we should just be able to say chosen life stages, choices, choose. What does that actually do? Oh, they're all choices anyway. And then we are going to need to do choices clean up, which deletes all the stuff in them. Okay, and then we need to say human stage, and I'll just use the first one. Choices front. Okay, so then if I can do test save and load, and I should be able to now say human new, that was 489, wasn't it? Oh, not that one. Human new human. That gives us the new human, and then we should be able to say check equal. In fact, we can just grab those, because in this case it's always going to be an operation attached to it. So new human stage, life stage name is correct, but also the operation is correct. So that means that they've not only saved and loaded the job, but they've also saved and loaded the person that they're in, the job that they are, the company that they're working for. Cool. That'll do for now. Okay. Hello, Herolaris. Be really good to know everyone who's on the stream, just where you're from in the world, and also how you found out about it. if you're new to the stream, it'd be great to know where that is, so that I can figure out what time is best to stream. Okay. Is Sol Traded my full-time job? No. It would be really nice if it was, but it's not. It's something that I do. I can do it during the day sometimes. I'm a freelance contractor, so I'm able to work on it during the day when I'm not working on other stuff. Am I working on it alone? The dev, yep, completely alone. It's just me. And of course, all of you guys. I do have an artist who has been working for me, Omar, who's an old friend from the games industry. Choices front. What is ordered life stage choices? It is a set, which means that what's the best way of getting into it? Yeah, I can't draw and I can't do art, so I've got somebody else to do that. He's great. So all of the artwork that you see, it comes from him. I'm also trying to do more procedural stuff, but I haven't really got that far yet. Okay, chosen last stage comp, response chosen last stage, first argument, dereference the argument bar. Okay, that'll do. This is a little bit ugly, but I'm not so worried. It's a test. Oh, cool. Oh, nice to have you on the stream. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, no method named operation. Yeah, that's because operation is actually on a chosen life stage, not life stage. If I was writing this again, I would definitely look to make this more data-oriented, definitely. Because serialization is effectively free if you've just got blocks of data in memory. This is just such a pain. I always forget, whenever I design a new subsystem, I always forget to think about it in a data-oriented way, because I think, oh, I'll just go with what's currently there. But then when it comes to serialization, I just wish that I'd done it differently. Okay, running the tests. So these tests should fail, because I haven't actually written the code yet. Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, so we've got the stage, that's worked. But there is no stage because we haven't saved it. Right, so now we can think about actually saving the thing. So in game saver, this is where this happens, save human. The human needs to have the stage saved. Now initially we're just doing operational life stages, but it's relevant for all humans actually. If you like this stream and you haven't seen it before, please do favourite me on Twitch. It means you get a notification whenever I go live, which is quite cool. And if you're watching on a mobile app, it'll ping you on the mobile app, which I find really useful for the people I follow. Okay, so save human. This is this code here. This is the thing that saves all the humans. I'm not sure we actually save life stages at all at the moment. We're going to need to do that. Well, are we? No. We're not going to need to save life stages, but we are going to need to save chosen life stages. So a life stage is just a thing that is shared by everyone, which is, what are you doing at the moment? What job are you doing? Is it a manual job? Are you the president of the solar system? Which you can be. Are you a freelance trader? Are you a mechanic? That kind of thing. Whereas a chosen life stage is a version of, is sort of a wrapper around that, which is per human. So this is for this is all about the human choosing a job. So it's like the job they've got, which is linked to the kind of standard job, which is the actual life stage itself. So this is the thing I need to save, the chosen life stage, and this is really part of human. So, and it has a link to operation, potentially. Okay, so I'm using Google protocol buffers for saving and loading. So let's create a new life stage protocol buffer. Okay, delete all that rubbish. Okay, so message life stage. Actually, it's a chosen life stage. Okay, and then humans should have optional. I'm always using optional, I never use required. Chosen life stage. Should put that down there. Chosen life stage equals 12. So this is just describes the binary data I've got, and then here I can let's see. I should be okay to, oops, sorry, all over the place. Right, so here we need to save the life stage itself. Now I think, let's just get rid of that window. Let's see, I do have, do I reference like life stage? No, I don't. Ah, life stage hash. Yeah, so that's the thing I want. So I need the life stage hash, which is just like a reference to the hash we've got. I need an expiration year. That's easy enough. Yeah, it's 2. And I need an operation. Optional uint 64, because it's a pointer. I basically save the bare pointers and then use that as a hash later. Operation ID equals 3. Okay, so once I've got that, that means that in my game saver, that's where I save everything. Save all of their ship components. Then I need to just do save set. Chosen life stage. I might just call it save life, chosen life stage. Stay beautiful, chosen life stage, human stage. And do void save chosen, whoops, chosen life stage, and then this will be a PB chosen life stage. Save, and then it'll be a chosen life stage. If stage returns. So if there's no save stage, we don't save it. But if there is, actually we probably want to do just save set life stage hash on it. Stage hash to be 0 and then return so that we know. But if we do have a stage, we want to do save set life stage hash, and let's just load this up here, which will be in life stages. I think we have a hash. How do we currently save it for humans? And then for operations, save organization, operation type, operation mutable location. We don't save it yet. We save the type, we don't save the jobs associated with it. So if we go to operation type, how do we do this? We have a hash here. Yeah, okay. So that's just going to be a hash of the name. So that's easy enough to do. So we just need to say unsigned. This is just the life stage. I'm just adding a hash function. So hash name. Okay, and then once we've done that, so I'm just going to build that in the background. Oh, I've just realised I don't have my git info up. So, hello, how do I pronounce that? Yaru, I think. Well, hopefully it'll be interesting to you. This is a C++ game, so it's pretty hardcore. So yeah, not necessarily the best way to do it, but that's the way I've done it. Okay, so hopefully, there we go. We should now get, there we go. So at the bottom you can see what I'm working on. In fact, I just need to now change what I'm working on. Done that. Serialization. Okay, so save human. I know that serialization isn't necessarily the most exciting thing to be doing, but it has to be done. Writing games is all about writing lots of tiny little things that all add up into one amazing thing. That's the idea anyway. Okay, so where were we? Saving chosen life stage. So we can now set, there we go, set the life stage hash to be the stage, oops, life stage hash. Perfect. Now we also need the expiration year, which should come from chosen life stages. I think I've got that somewhere here. There it is, expiration year. That one. And then set operation ID. Now this is a bit trickier. I'm pretty sure in our organization proto file I save the ID. Yes, I do. So I should be able to. Where does that come from? Oh yes, it comes from along the actual operation ID, as in the pointer. I don't know if I need that. So that'll be 0 if there isn't one. I think, maybe. Yes, that'll come out as a pointer, which means that will be a long of 0. So that's done. So we're now saving the chosen life stage. Woohoo! Yes, C++ isn't the best place to start necessarily. I've been programming for a while, and funnily enough, I did start in C++ back in the early 90s, but that was a while ago. So yeah, I'd recommend, actually, to be honest, these days, I used to recommend starting in Ruby. Now I would probably start in JavaScript, if I'm honest. JavaScript has some really nice properties. It's not necessarily 100% the best language. In fact, there's some nasty things about it, but because it just runs everywhere, It's a great language to learn. It's a great language to know well. If you want to learn the fundamentals of programming OO, I would recommend something like Python or Ruby. I wouldn't recommend any kind of big OO languages like Java or C++, to be honest. I mean, there are lots of reasons why those are good languages to know, and I do know them and I program in them, but the only reason to program in something like C++ is speed, to be honest. If you are working on, if you're trying to learn something, you're trying to learn the fundamentals of something like functional programming, and I think everyone should learn it anyway, then learn Lisp. It's a really interesting language, or a variant of Lisp like Clojure. That would be a really good thing to do. It will teach you a huge amount about programming. There's a book called The Little Schema, which is an excellent Lisp book. And also, if you can stomach it, try SICP, Structure and Interpretation of Computer Programs. It's about 30 years old and still one of the best programming books in the world. So yeah, those are the ones that I would recommend. Yeah, C#, if you want to do Microsoft, C# is cool. But I'm not a Microsoft coder at all. I tend to stay clear of that stuff. Okay, so now we have a chosen live stage saved, which is great. So that means, in fact, that will need to be, that's a pointer, so that's coming like that. Okay, so let's just run that, make sure that code compiles. Yeah, Turbo Pascal, nice. Never did any Pascal, managed to avoid it. I don't quite know how, because a lot of people at university did it, but thankfully I didn't have to. Okay, so that's not compiling, so let's have a look. Is not a pointer? Oh yes, no it isn't, that's fine. Okay, while it's compiling, I'm going to finish this. What's wrong with this? Oh. Well, yeah, that's fair enough. Right, so let's, instead of making that a pointer, let's make that a const reference so that I can't screw up and change it. Try that. Just writing some answers to Reddit questions. Excuse me while I just finish these. Cool. That's all done. Is there any more questions I need to answer? No. Okay. Right, so, oh, yeah. this, I can't use a const reference because this may not actually exist. Let's make it a pointer. Otherwise that will instantly crash if it tries to dereference a null pointer. If you're interested, I'm currently chatting on Space Sim Games on Reddit about this game. Yeah, that's fine. Lovely. Cool, had a little bit of interest on the website. Let's see, what else is happening on the internet? I've looked at that, haven't I? Yes. Oh yeah, this is my self-promotion, make a post. Yeah, everyone's posting their stuff. So I should be there, hopefully. Where's my game? Crikey. Oh, this is the wrong one. That will be why. This is the new one. Oh, and there's just me and some other dude. So far. Well, that's fine. Any other questions I can answer about the game? Very happy to answer them here. I should say that if you're new to the stream, do consider following me on Twitch. You are very welcome to do that, and you'll get notification every time I go live. Am I in a developing state or debugging? I am. It's in development. It's been 3 years in development, so I'm kind of reaching the point where all the features that I wanted to put in are almost in. The main things that I don't have yet are mining and asteroids, which will really help give the game much more to do, and missions. I want to spend quite a lot of time building character interaction stuff. So it would be really good to have that really rich and deep and interactive. Hello, nice to have you on the stream. Thanks for stopping by. Like I said before, it'd be great to know where you found out about the stream. Were you just surfing on Twitch for programming streams, or did you find it on a Reddit sub-channel, whatever? Entirely up to you to let me know, because I don't know otherwise. Okay, so this is not working. So we've saved and loaded, and that's because we haven't actually loaded anything. So we've saved stuff, but we haven't loaded anything yet. So go back to the game loading code. Right, so we've loaded, where do we load the history? After we've loaded the humans. So we need, after we've loaded the humans, we're going to need to go through and load all of their life stages. We can't do that until we've loaded the actual humans themselves, or the life stages themselves. It might be worth, unless we need, do we need the humans? No, we don't need them anywhere in the history code. I don't think. No. So let's load them after it's a bit bigger. Yes, so if you wouldn't mind telling me how you found out about the stream, if you're new to the stream, then that'll help me figure out where best to talk about the game. Thank you. So now we are loading humans afterwards. Let's just try running that to make sure that hasn't broken any other tests. We should still have 4 failing. It'd be really nice if Twitch told you where people are tuning in from as well. That would be pretty cool. Also, can you tell me if the sound quality and the video quality is good enough to be able to read the screen? I'm streaming in a slightly lower resolution to try and make the compilation speed a little faster. So that would be really good to know. It's really hard for me to tell whether or not it's any good. It looks, for me, it looks a little bit blurry. But you'll have to tell me, because I can't tell. Okay, yep, that still works just as well as we thought it would. So let's load the loader. Okay, so now we've done this, we should be able to load humans here, and we should be able to pass in the operations so that they can look up operations. Now the other thing we need to look up is how do we get the live stage? That's going to be trickier. Great, glad to hear that. What programming is like other than in games? Oh, I see. Do you mean what programming is actually like to do? Programming is basically 1,000 small, slightly mundane steps to get you to something awesome. But to be honest, I'm completely addicted to that process of incrementally adding stuff to a game. It's just, honestly, it's so much fun. Unfortunately, today I've got a bit of a chore task, which is the serialization stuff. But it does have to be done. Right, so now when we load humans, instead of just passing the humans, we're going to need to pass the operations. Maybe. Let's think. What does load human actually do? Do I want to inline that? No, I really don't. That's quite complicated. If I load it first and then do stuff here. So I should be able to do loaded, chosen, life stage, pb, chosen life stage, const, stage. It's chosen life stage, and then I can say if stage, now this is where I need to go back to my life stage proto, life stage hash is 0. Remember earlier we said it was 0, then we don't need to do anything. So if it's not 0, then we need to do something interesting, which will be we need to actually choose that stage. So humans stage, we set the stage here, but it's more complicated than stage. Yeah. Oh crap, we're going to need to set the top state as live stage as well. Damn. Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, just scroll the Twitch post down to the end and see programming. Yes, that's one way of finding us. It's quite good to have the programming thing set. Yeah. Also going to need a optional uint 32 life stage hash equals 13. This is getting ugly. Okay, so if we have a live stage hash, then we're going to need to find the live stage from somewhere, and that's either going to be in the history live stage library, or it's going to be in the operation itself. So if we have an operation being like a job, basically, or a place that you work, if we loaded operation ID equals naught, is not equal to naught. Okay, now what we can do is we can basically say we're going to need to reconstitute a chosen life stage, aren't we? Yes, we are. And so this is going to need to come from, so first we're going to need to find the operation. So operations loaded operation ID. That will give us the place that we're working. An operation is just a place where you work. It's like a place of operations for a particular organization. It's like an office. And then once we've got that, we can say chosen life stage ls equals new chosen life stage operation life stage, and then we basically can pass it loaded life stage hash. And then we also need the expiration year, which we've got. Expiration year, and that's not right. And then we've got the operation itself, which we have. Brilliant. And then we can do human stage. In fact, I'll do that here. Yeah, that's right. ls. Then I can basically just say ls is that, human stage ls. So if we don't have an operation, that means that the live stage is available in the history. So I can do in the live stage library. That's for basically generic live stages like birth, going to school, newborn, child, secondary school, what else? A whole bunch of other stuff that doesn't have a particular job attached to it. Right. Oh, cool, you're programming in C++ too. Nice. It's not my favorite language, but it's not terrible. So that means that, where's the history? State history. Live stage library. Now I have to figure out how to use this thing. Live stage library is down here, and I should be able to grab a live stages. What's a live stage? It's just a vector. I need to be able to find a live stage from hash. So basically I need to do live stage const find unsigned hash const return. I need to figure that out in a minute. Find stage live stage hash. That should probably be find live stage. So should that. Okay, so that gives us the live stage. Then we've got loaded expiration year. Null, because there's no operation. Okay, so that should do the loading. So what we're doing is if we have an operation, which means we have a particular place that we work, we grab the live stage itself from the operation and the hash we're given. Otherwise, we grab it from the general live stage library. which I think should work well. Okay, so let's run that code, make sure it compiles. It won't work yet because there's a couple of methods there that don't exist yet. The find life stage methods I haven't actually written, so I'll need to write those in a minute. Okay, let that just run. Okay, what's the problem here? Right, too many arguments to a function call, expected argument load. Yeah, I'm not passing that anymore. Change my mind. Okay, what's happening here? No member name operation ID in human. Oh yes, no, because it's actually the stage, not the loaded thing. Loaded stage. Yep. Oh, missed a space there after a comma. Very picky about such things. Yeah, I know about all of that extra stuff in C++, the Spark pointer stuff, C++ 11, 14, all of that stuff. I'm not using any of it. I just find it easier to manage my own memory. There's a couple of things in C++ that I'd really like. Oh, what's happened here? Live stash hash, that's obviously wrong. Stage hash. A matching function for call to stage, why not? Oh, okay. Now, if I need to delete that afterwards, don't I? I think I do. So this memory management stuff, it's annoying to have to manage your own memory, that's for sure. Close stage, yes, I copy it. So just delete ls. I don't really mind having to manage my own memory. It's not the end of the world. It's quite nice to be able to just say this chunk of memory is for these objects. I don't really mind that. I did a talk at a conference recently about separating out my code, separating allocation from code and the interesting stuff that it shows you. I mean, there are some nice things you don't have to think about. It eliminates a whole class of problems, that kind of thing. But because I'm used to doing it and I like organizing my memory, I quite like the process of doing it. That's not the thing that scares me, particularly. Okay, so no member name find life stage in operation. That's because I haven't written it. So an operation contains a bunch of life stages. Life stages in an operation are basically the jobs available. So you've got a life stage and the staff that are working. So the way this works is that the operation type is the thing that contains the life stages. So when you have an operation type here, operation role, we have an organization chart which contains a bunch of operation roles. So actually we could probably do with just going through the organization chart and checking which life stage the person is in. So really it's not operation find life stage, it's operation type find life stage. Let's have a look. Where's type? Yep. So reference, operation type, find live stage. So what I really want is a method here which just says live stage, find live stage, unsigned hash, const. That'll be a const as well. These are always consts. Okay. There we go. Let's compile that. Okay. Did you mean to call it for no arguments? No, I certainly didn't. I think if I was going to write, I've been saying this a few times on the stream, if I was going to start this again, I'd probably do the entire thing in JavaScript, like the guy at Citybound is doing, Anselm. That's, by the way, is this. If you're interested in SimCity games, you should definitely check that out. Just popped it on the chat. He's doing the whole thing in JavaScript and WebGL, and I really like that idea because it just runs everywhere without much effort. I've had nightmares trying to get this working on Windows and Mac, and now people are asking for a Linux build. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, that's a lot of work. So I would definitely do a different thing. But then 3 years ago, it wasn't really an option to work in JavaScript. So, you know, that's just the way it goes. No known conversion from live stage to console live stage. That's just because I've missed something. I'm returning. Right, so I need that to be this. All this stuff goes away if you do this, which is quite good. If you go to JavaScript, all of this stuff goes away. Yeah. Yeah. It is faster in C++, but I mean, really, it's not that much faster these days, depending on what you're trying to do. And I think probably the right way of getting speed these days is not to write in C++, but to actually just ship everything off to the GPU anyway. And I'm going to do some experiments when this is done to see if I can basically write an entire game on the GPU. And that'd be really interesting to see.